Hello viewers, welcome to another brand new episode of our English classroom. Here I am Pramod and I would like to welcome all of you to my channel. In this channel you will get several videos on grammatical topic along with some vocabulary related videos and also spoken English material so that you can improve your language skill. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get all the latest updates. Well, I have started a series on voice change, which is one of the most important topic in English grammar. So I have already uploaded several videos on this topic. In this video I'm going to discuss about how we can change the interrogative sentences in active form into passive form. That means we are dealing with interrogative sentences because I have already discussed about the assertive pattern from different tenses, and if you haven't watched the videos, so go to my channel. There is a playlist on voice change and you will get all those videos. Well, let's get started. Well, the topic is interrogative sentence, but remember, interrogative sentence, this topic cannot be completed within one single video. So it needs 3 or 4 videos. So today is the first video on interrogative sentence. Well, basically there are two major type of interrogative sentences. One is called yes no type of interrogative sentences and another one is called WH type of interrogative sentences. So today I'm going to discuss about the yes no type of interrogative sentences. Okay, so usually yes no type of interrogative sentences starts with an auxiliary verb, and in this video I'm going to mention only about auxiliary verbs. Those are do, does, did. Okay, we can use several other auxiliary verbs, but I'm not going to discuss those topics over here today. Rather we are going to discuss only on do and does and did. Okay, so let's get started. So basically the active structure of interrogative sentence is just the structure of the interrogative sentence that starts with a auxiliary verb. Here I have used the specific auxiliary verbs do, does and did according to tense. According to your requirement you will use your auxiliary verb. If you are dealing with any present tense sentence or present tense question, obviously you need to use do or does. If you are using any past tense or making question in the past, then you need to use did. After that there will be the subject of the verb and then the main verb, and after that there must have been an object. Okay, because we all know that when we are changing an active sentence into passive sentence, the verb needs to be a transitive verb and it needs an object. So now take a look on the passive structure. The passive structure starts with the auxiliary verb just like the active structure, but you can notice that here in the active pattern the auxiliary verbs were do, does, did, but in the passive pattern the auxiliary verbs are am, is, was, were. There is a huge change in auxiliary verb. Why? The reason is why. Well, the fact is a passive sentence never ever uses do verbs or do, does, did verbs as auxiliaries, because whenever we are using a passive verb needs auxiliary verbs which are from to be verbs, because only to be verbs, they have different forms, are able to construct a passive sentence. Just keep this in your mind every time whenever you are making a passive sentence, that a passive sentence needs a be verb with its past participle form of the verb. And that is the point why we all the time use be verbs as our auxiliary verbs. So that is the reason you cannot use do, does, did, rather you need to use am, is, was, were depending on your tense and obviously depending on the person number of your given object of the passive sentence. Clear? There is a confusion among the students that many students found that my subject over here, suppose, is a third person singular, but the object may be a plural object, third person plural object. What should I do? Well, whenever you are writing the passive form, you need to follow the noun or pronoun that was the object in the active sentence, and now it became the subject of your passive sentence. So follow the noun pronoun that is at the end of the verb as your object. In passive form, you are using this object as your subject. Clear? And then the verb will take its V3 or past participle form, preposition, by, or sometimes different prepositions like at, to, and finally the subject that will be turned into the object of the passive sentence. Clear? So this is the basic structure. And now let's discuss about when to use am, is, or where to use was, were. Very simple thing. Well, when your auxiliary verb in the active sentence is do or does, then your auxiliary verb in the passive will be am, is, because both of them belongs to present tense. But when your auxiliary verb is did in the active sentence, in passive you need was, were as your auxiliary verb, because all these things belongs to past. Now take some example. Number one is, does he ring the bell? Does he ring the bell? Does, it is indicating the present tense, and does he, because the subject third person singular he, it needs the auxiliary verb does. Now take the look of passive pattern. Here I have used the passive sentence with auxiliary verb is, because in the active sentence my object was bell, it's third person singular. So according to subject verb agreement rule, a third person singular in present tense needs auxiliary verb is to create the passive formation. So the bell agrees with the auxiliary verb is. Then the verb ring takes the V3 form rang. Ring, rang, rang. Okay, so that is the why we have used the verb rang. And finally the subject which was in the active sentence he, it took its form, the object form, that is him, and before it we used the preposition by. So what is the outcome? Does he ring the bell? The passive outcome is the bell rung by him? Number two, do you collect stamps? Again, it's an example of present indefinite tense. So do you? It is telling us that my question belongs to present indefinite tense, and you, the subject, is second person, and that's the reason the auxiliary verb we are using is do. Okay, and collect the stamps is the verb and object. Now take a look on the passive structure. Are stamps? Well, stamps, plural noun, and with the plural we always use are. Collected, the V3 form of the verb collect, you, this pronoun doesn't have any object form. Subject and object, both the forms are same. That's the reason there is no change of the form of you by you. So do you collect stamps? Are stamps collected by you? And the last one, did she write the letter? Did she write the letter? Did. It is indicating past tense. So whenever you will make any question of the past, you use this auxiliary verb did. So did she write the letter? Take a look on the passive pattern. At the very beginning we have used the auxiliary verb was, because I have previously told you that whenever we are changing the tense from present to past, our auxiliary verbs also change. So that is the reason did, if you have did in the active sentence, you need to use was where depending on the number of your object or number of this noun. As letter, it's singular number, so singular we use was the letter, written is the first participle form of the verb write by her, so her is the object form of the pronoun she. So in this way it sounds like was the letter written by her. Suppose if the noun over here, if it is not letter, it's in the plural form letters, then you just need to change the auxiliary verb, then it will become were the letters. Simple, because this object belongs to plural, and that's the reason we are using the verb which agrees with the plural nouns. So always practice this type of pattern as much as possible, because it will help you not only to get a good fluency in speaking, rather your writing will reach at a very good level. So keep watching the channel. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and have a nice day.